Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. How much time do I have? 45 minutes, okay. It said 9:30, so I was a little confused. That's why I asked. The topic for today is moksha and duality. I think it's designed to wake us up because usually we think of moksha and non-duality. So we will look at this from a few angles and see where we land. The word moksha comes from the word much, to be free. The abstract noun is moksha. Freedom, in other words. Everybody wants freedom. In fact, everybody wants to be the boss. Big boss, yes. Nobody wants to be bossed over. Everybody says, I want to be in charge, I want to be in control, I want to be the one who makes all the decisions. I don't want anybody above me. It starts at age 2. Whenever you tell the child, do this, what will the child say? No, that's the first word. After mother, after mommy, the second word is what? No. Starts at age 2 and continues in all relationships. Every place, one feels chafed and one feels like rebelling in school, in college, at work. And then what? Of course, in the marriage. Otherwise, it's not a marriage if there is no rebellion. Of course, there is a wanting to get out of something. It seems to be hardwired in the person. The seeking for this freedom, whatever it means. In fact, we don't even know what it means. We just find the status quo of wherever one is at any given time so intolerable that you just want to say, let me out. Let me out. Okay, you are out. Then what? I'm lonely. Let me in. This is the mad jiva. Not knowing what they want. Yeah, we are really mad, totally mad. We don't know what we want, and we think we want some kind of a freedom. And then you go off to the Himalayas and wish there was somebody to savor the experience with. What experience? Of solitude. So, moksha is messed up. Really, our concept, moksha is not messed up, moksha is fine, okay? Yeah. Our concept and the way we relate to moksha is very, very messed up. Because even on that which the Upanishad says is our final goal, we have successfully superimposed all our subjective definitions, etc., etc. So there is moksha, and then there is the overlay of our own subjectivity, like donut with glaze and sprinkles. Yes, it's like that. So then what we need to do is to understand what this means from the standpoint of the Shastra, from the standpoint of the Upanishad. The Upanishad gives a wonderful definition of moksha. And she says Moksha means freedom from that which is intolerable. Oh, me. I can tell you all the things in my life that are intolerable. The Upanishad will say those are surface level things. Those are, those are intolerable because what is intolerable are not the surface level things external to me. What is truly intolerable to me is the one who finds the world and all the relationships in it intolerable. Ayyo, this Vedanta is just all bringing it back to me. I just come here thinking I want some peace and quiet and I want to feel good. And then these Vedantins come and say, it's all an inside job. Look at yourself. It's not scary because we are doing it together. Then it's not scary at all. So moksha is that which I find in moksha from seeking moksha means seeking freedom from that which is intolerable, which means the following, which means seeking freedom from a notion of insecurity, from a notion of discomfort, from a notion of self-critique, from self-judgment, self-loath, etc. If I truly loved myself, there is no need to run from anything and anybody. And that will continue tomorrow. More on that. But for now, we just look at this. Moksha means freedom from notional superimpositions upon the I, centered on the I, wrong understandings. Of what? Of myself, of course, and by extension of the world. If I do not love myself, if I am self-hypercritical, and if I am self-judgmental, then the chances are that I will be hypercritical of everybody else and judgmental of others too. It all comes back here. It boomerangs back. And then, therefore, we have the wisdom of the Upanishads to look at that which stifles us slightly differently. Slightly differently, yes, but actually profoundly differently, cognitively speaking. Because when I see that it is the vision that is corrupted, it is not the Jagat, the universe, that is filled with sorrow, strife, fear, anger, and a sense of want all the time. But it is myself alone that is filled with these things. Scary as it might be, it is also a sense of relief. Because truly speaking, one is tired of running. And if you tell me I'm not tired of running, I will say, just wait till my next visit. And then you'll be tired of running. Wait till the next set of talks on Vedanta. Then you will say, last time you said I was tired of running, and I said no, but this time, yes, I am tired of running. One is tired of running. One is tired of hiding, one is tired of running, one is tired of seeking, spaces of safety, of comfort. When all the while, where is the safety? Right here. Where is the comfort? Right here. In this abode where Bhagavan sits. This is the original temple. That is why the Shastra says, Deho Devalaya Proktaha. Deho Devalaya Proktaha. Jivo Devas Sanatanaha. Tyajed Ajnana Nirmalyam. Soham Bhavena Pujayet. This is the temple, dear friends. The Shastra says, the body is the temple. And the indweller, the truth of the one that dwells within, This body, mind, sense complex, this temple is Bhagavan. Jiva, the indweller. I thought I was a Jiva. Jiva means the one who complains. Okay, yeah, short, short definition. So I thought I was the one that lacked everything. I thought I was the one that was insecure. I thought I was the one that was wanting something. But here I'm elevated to the level of Ishvara, Bhagavan. So this body is an assemblage which is like a temple and the sanctum of the heart, figuratively speaking, the spiritual heart, not the actual heart, the sanctum in terms of the heart of the matter is what? Is the jiva. The jiva is the sanctum. And who is this jiva? The jiva that has discovered itself to be the whole, to be one with Ishvara, with the Lord, with the goddess. This is the one that is to be discovered. How? The next line says, Tyajet ajnana nirmalyam. Like how when you worship a shrine, like even the ones behind, what do? In the morning, you take away the old flowers. Yesterday's flowers you take away and you put the fresh flowers of today, and that is called yesterday's flowers are called nirmalya, that which is to be discarded. So Tyajet, please discard the nirmalya of what? Ajnanam. Your own self-ignorance is the nirmalya, is the old flowers, dried flowers, remnants of all kinds of wrong ideas about the self, the world, and God. Please get rid of them. And then what? Then please start the puja. Oh, I'm pujifying myself. How, how is this puja done? What is this puja looking like? Soham, Soham everybody knows, right? Soham. Soham means the one who I want to be, the one who I love to be, the one who is the most adored one is myself alone. Is that Ishvara? I am. Soham. But before this is discovered, life is not Soham. What is life? Oham. Yes. Vedanta is a journey from Oham to Soham. In one sentence, if anybody wanted me to define Vedanta, this is what I would use. Yes. That's all it is. And so this is the goal. And then, of course, what do we say? Oh, there is all this duality that is coming in the way. I hate duality. I want non-duality. There are all these things. There are too many things. And we count. And when I teach in the ashram in India, we have all these, what is that called? Teaching accoutrements in the form of pots of various sizes, small pots, which you can buy in the shops nearby. So pot number 1, you just have to imagine, okay? Now pot number 2, pot number 3, pot number 4, and imagine that they are of different sizes and different shapes. One is glazed, the other one is just raw clay, the third one is very small, the fourth one is very big. If they had a human mind, what would happen? What would happen if they had a human mind? Very soon there would be first a discussion which would devolve into a quarrel. I'm the best, east or west, says the big pot. I can swallow all of you. The small pot says, yes, but I'm prettier. I have designs. I have a glaze. I'm not easy to come by. The middle pot says, no, but I'm of a better shape. I'm more shapely. And the one in between, the third one says, I am sad. Why? Because I have a pot belly. Help me. What if there was a fifth one? That too would have a complex. What would be its complex? Help, I'm a crackpot. It would say. Then what? All these poor pots from 1 to 5, the fifth one was came late to class like me. Okay. And then, so then we have to get a pot guru. In California, the word pot is very, very dangerous. Yeah. So take it in the best way, in the most literal way possible. Okay. Don't let the mind go anywhere else. Yeah. Pot guru, the compound is to be resolved as the guru of all pots. Yes. The one who is enlightened about its own nature, that will be the guru pot. Yeah, that's better. Instead of pot guru. Change it, okay? Yeah, change it in the mind. Wipe out everything else. Guru pot. So then the guru pot comes, sits, says the opening prayer, and says what? O ye pots, one and all, big and small, guess what? You are all not pots. And they look at each other. We are not pots. You told we were pots. What are we then? At least we were pots. Small pot, big pot, medium pot, crack pot. At least I was a pot, some kind of a pot. But now now you're saying I'm not a pot at all? What is wrong with you? What am I then? Each pot is having a question mark in front of itself. And then the guru pot says, what are you made of? Well, they say we are made of clay. Yes, that's what you are. You are not pot at all. What are you? Clay. You are clay, clay, clay all the way. No pot. No more pot talk. You are clay. And this is what is the vision, a vision of no division. A vision of no division. That is waiting to be discovered. That is waiting to be understood. And all the pots are how? Well, what were you made of? Clay. That's what you are. No, no, no. Clay is God. Clay is God. The eyes fly up. I don't know why, Clay is God. What am I? Odd. G silent, yes. I am at best odd because clay is God, and then this God I cannot be. So I am now crackpot, small pot, big pot, middle pot, pot-bellied pot, whatever I am. This much alone I am, and no more. Okay, fine. Because I have a right to my self-definition. Who are you to come and tell me who I am? You should know or I should know? I should know. It's about me. So if I say, I want to continue to be a small little pot, then what is your problem? I don't have a problem. Okay, if you don't have a problem, then leave me alone. Tathastu. Yes, so be it. And then what? Are you, then the question after Tathastu would be, I would ask the question, are you happy with being crackpot, small pot, pot-bellied pot, short pot, big pot? What would be the answer? Say no, so we can move on. Okay, yeah. Otherwise, we'll be stuck here. No, I'm not happy. Because as I said in the beginning, I'm searching for something. And what is that something? I'm searching for this oneness. I'm searching to merge with something. And this merging is very important to everybody. It starts from a small baby. You look at the infant, It's just learning to sit. Even before it learns to sit, what does it do? It discovers its body parts. Oh, there is something protruding here. Oh, it has these appendages. It can't even count. Oh, it looks like there are many of these things. What does it do? Put it in its mouth. That's its wanting to merge. It's very instinctive. Then later on, it does a little gymnastics and puts the big toe of the foot in the mouth. The baby Krishna pose, the famous baby Krishna pose, very cute. And then what does it do when it starts crawling around? The parents have to be hyper vigilant. Whatever it sees on the ground, what does it do? Put it in its mouth. It doesn't know Vedanta, it doesn't know even how to talk, it doesn't know even how to walk. But still, that desire for oneness is built into the jiva. It wants to merge with its mother from which it came. But it wants to merge with the mother. If the mother goes away from the room for 2 minutes, it starts to cry. Why? Anxiety. That's why it's called separation anxiety, which does not end. From age 2 to 92, it is still there. We call it by different names because we are embarrassed to call it separation anxiety at age 72. So we say, no, I have free floating anxiety. That makes us feel better. That makes us feel better somehow. Crazy we are. Just a crazy bunch of people. Totally cuckoo. Okay. Yeah. And then the Upanishad is too polite. It doesn't say that, but it thinks that, I'm sure. So then this doesn't go, this desire to merge. So first there is mama, then there is what? Security blanket or some, what is that called? Those stuffed bears. What are they called? Teddy bear. Yes, those teddy bears. And that teddy bear is held and loved up so much for dear life, the child holds on to it so much so that even if it's put in the washing machine, the child is anxious. The mother says, this is disgusting. Why? We have to wash it today. No. Sometimes, I went to somebody's house and they said, please come and see our house. There was just two people. They didn't have children. But in their bedroom, there were lots of teddy bears on their bed. So that means the desire for the stuffed bear continues. Something to hold on to means something to become one with. Even food. I want to be one with the food, then I'm happy. People, I want to become one with you, whether it's a relationship or a friendship, whatever it is. And then, okay, you became one with the person, what happens? I don't like you very much anymore. Go away. This is what it is. Why? Because this is a transference. The desire for oneness can only be described as the desire to merge with Ishvara, with Bhagavan, which I have already said is an as though merging because one is never away from Bhagavan. Never, ever, ever, ever away from Bhagavan. And I'll speak about that a little more later. One is never away from Bhagavan, so the desire to merge into that from which one is never separate is a desire that is in a form of a transference because of the self-ignorance. Not knowing that I am already one, I seek encounters of oneness. I seek encounters of oneness, not knowing that I'm already free, I'm already whole, I'm already mukta. I already have moksha. Without knowing that, I keep seeking ways to manufacture the oneness through entering into contracts with duality. various contracts. Marriage itself is a contract in many traditions, not in the Vedic tradition. We don't consider it a contract. It's more of vows taken in front of Bhagavan. But in many traditions, there is a contract. There's a contractual agreement, especially in the olden days. That's how it was. In aristocratic families, there was a contract. Yes, this boy and this girl will get married together, this much exchange of properties, this much whatever it is, this is how it is. So we keep looking to have contracts with the small when we are already one with the all. This is our problem. In case you think this is a modern problem, a Kali Yuga problem, I would like to disabuse you of that notion because it's an ancient problem. The Upanishad describes it. In the Chandogya Upanishad, we have Shvetaketu, the student, Uddalaka, the teacher, father turned teacher. Shvetaketu comes back from the university called Gurukula. He was sent at 12. That was the custom. Came back at 24. This is a nice custom so that you don't have to deal with the teenagers. Yeah, safely send them to the Guru. Yeah, very nice. I like this. The ancient sages thought about everything. Very nice. So you sent the child at 12 and it graduates and comes back at 24, a grown woman, a grown man. And then Shvetaketu came back and the parents wondered, who has entered the house? Is it our son? Or is it a vain peacock strutting around? I'm the best, east or west. Nobody can chant like me. Ask me anything from the Vedas, I will chant. And in fact, I can even chant backwards. This is how he came and he was insufferably proud. The parents decided they had to have a talk with him. They saw his changed ways and were very sad, disappointed, because in the whole lineage of Uddalaka, there was nobody that was not enlightened. Double negative, be careful. That means what? Everybody was enlightened. Everybody knew this knowledge, except our Shvetu. Everybody knew this knowledge. And the parents were naturally anxious. They didn't want this dear son of theirs to be an outlier. Meanwhile, the boy is going around with noise-cancelling headphones. Meaning what? And that's why I don't listen when the parents call. Shwetu, I'm just listening to something. I don't hear you. Shwetu, what? Did you ask for that knowledge? Knowing which everything is as well as known. And Shwetu says, Dad, I had the perfect GPA. I was the best student in the whole university, not just in my class. If the teachers knew this knowledge, they would have told me. That means what? They didn't know. Look at the implications. Clinging on to the smallness. I mean, in the vast scheme of things, what is this ability to chant? A little blip. That's what it is. You see the NASA pictures. You see the new planets that are being discovered in the Goldilocks zone. Neither too hot nor too cold. Meaning habitable, supposedly. But why are we in search of habitable planets? Because look at the mess we are making of this one. That's why we want to have another option to also mess up. That's why we are looking somewhere close by where we can, all the rich people anyway, can move and build condos in the Goldilocks zone. Anyhow, just look at the Goldilocks plan. Look at all these Milky Way. Milky Way is huge, vast. And if you think that is vast, next to it is another one. Andromeda is its name. And in a few million years, what will happen? Andromeda is approaching closely. Approaching. It's going to swallow up the Milky Way. Don't worry, it's not happening now. Okay. It's not happening tomorrow, it's in a few million years. So we are okay. We are totally okay. And then you look, then there will be another Dada, grandfather of Andromeda also. Everywhere you go, things are huge. We feel humbled when we look at these pictures. We are just we meaning from the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex. That is the we. And the ahankara, the ego that abides in the body, mind, sense complex, the ego that thinks that it is bound. It is not free. From that standpoint, one is just a small little blip in this vast Jagat, which is still being mapped as we speak, whose laws are still being understood. There are, for everything that we understand, there are at least 100 things that we do not understand, even about that thing which we think we have understood. This is how the life is. So where is the cause for pride? Where is the cause for arrogance? Especially when everything in the universe is already given. The voice to chant, now I'm going back to the Shvetu example, the voice to chant, given. The ability to remember, given. Remember all the Vedic hymns, given. A strong body, given. Everything is given. Brains to be able to grasp what the teacher said at the university, given. Where can anyone claim the credit? But our Shvetu, in his youth, does not understand all of this. So the father thinks some teaching is in order. He blames his teachers. He says, they must not have known, otherwise they would have taught me. Listen to the question the father is stern this time and says, listen to this question. Listen to this question carefully. I'm not asking you if they knew. I'm asking you if you asked for this knowledge. Then Shvetaketu understands that this knowledge of no division, this vision of no division is something I have to ask. I have to yearn for this knowledge. I have to ask for this knowledge. Unasked, it is not given. Shvetaketu understands that, and then the teaching begins. Beautiful teaching. Sadeva somya idamagre asid ekameva dvitiyam. The father says, this variegated jagat, this world of names and forms that you see everywhere, this variegated jagat is what? Is just Sat. What? This Jagat is Sat. Let's call it Sat. Sat literally means existence. We say Jagat exists. That is a very good way to say it. The world exists. The universe exists. We have got it all topsy-turvy. We think that the existence of the universe belongs to itself. But hey, no, that is a misapprehension. The existence of the Jagat is a borrowed existence. Borrowed existence. It's not shining by itself. The world is not self-shining. How do you know? Well, if the world was self-shining, the mic would start talking. and say, I'm tired of just amplifying all the teachers here. I too have a few things to say about yoga, Vedanta, pranayama. I want to teach how to breathe. Shut up, sit down. It's not self-shining. If the Jagat were self-shining, all the objects in the Jagat would be sentient, would start to talk, would start to walk, would start to interact. And you go for brunch, what will happen? The spoon will say, I am hungry. The fork will say, I'm hungry. You think it is going to your mouth, but the fork has eaten it up. Thank God certain things are jada. Jada means not alive, insentient. So the existence of the Jagat is elsewhere. It just borrows this existence. It is shining in borrowed existence. Like the crow who went to the peacock convention by putting a few peacock feathers to pass off as a peacock, was shining in borrowed feathers. That's how the expression came. It is a borrowed existence. Then, of course, the next question should be what? Borrowed from what? Borrowed from Sat. Sat is the original existence from which everything borrows its existence, and all the insentient things in the world shine because they are Sat, not because of themselves. Nothing in this universe is self-existent except for the person who says nothing in the universe is self-existent. Who is that person? Aham, I. This is the vision. This is so beautiful. You are not like anything else. You are not unlike anything else. You are unique. In fact, you are one. You are the only thing in the universe that is not shining in borrowed feathers. Oh, really? Yes, really. Does that mean I am Sat? Yes. You are Sat. Sadeva Somya idamagre asit. Idamagre means before the universe manifested into various names and forms. All that was there, this Jagat was Sat, in the form of Sat, unvariegated, unmanifest. And then what? Manifest into names and forms. How do I wrap my brains around it? It just says, just like our pot example, Ekena mritpindena sarvam mridmayam vijnatam bhavati. You go by your neighbor, let's say your neighbor has a potting hobby, a potter hobby, making pots, and then you go by the potter's house. In the morning, there is nothing, there's just a big lump of clay. Then you come back from work in the evening. What happened to the clay? Gone. In its stead, there are all these pots put out to dry. Pots, lids, lamps, Krishna figurines, so many jugs, everything made of what? Clay. Everything made of clay. That one lump of clay is now in many, many forms. So the unenlightened one says there are 25 items. You count 1 to 25. But the one who knows says, you see pot, I see what? Clay. I see only clay. No, there is pot. Okay. Take the pot and leave the clay with me. Fine. I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to go with you, with your thinking. Take the pot. All right. Take the pot, go home, but don't take the clay, because what you see is pot. I see clay. Keep the clay with me. You take what you see, which is pot. Possible? Yes? No. Why? The weight of the pot is the weight of clay. The color of the pot is the color of the clay. The smell of the pot belongs to not the pot, the clay. In fact, the whole pot is what? Clay. Whole pot is clay. There is clay, 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 clay all the way. Now, Shvetaketu is just transfixed. Really, this is what it is. This is what I've been missing. Yes. Bhuya eva Bhagavan Vijnapayatu. I understood, but not quite. Tell me again. Oh, revered teacher. Father turned daddy turned teacher. Now he can't call him daddy. He's guru now. Oh, revered guru. Please tell me this again. The head is thick with all kinds of misapprehensions of the eye. And with pot buddhi, pot thinking, pot vritti, the clay thinking will not come very easily. Because this is what I'm habituated to. I'm habituated to the smallness. I'm habituated to clinging to the insecurity. So therefore, I have to be told repeatedly. Again, the father turned teacher teaches by example. At least when you make a pot out of clay, it undergoes a few changes. It has to be put in the kiln and baked. The clay undergoes some changes, the clay becomes hard. But then the next example is even closer to what needs to be told here. Gold and ornaments. Gold and ornaments. Gold is one gold. And then what? Millions of ornaments. Millions of ornaments. My guru was asked to, by a devotee, to inaugurate a jewelry shop. He had never done that in his life. He said, how do you do that? No, you just come and cut the ribbon. Okay, I'll do that. He went. Big jewelry shop by this huge merchant. Lots of nice glass cases with chains, bangles, rings, whatnot, bracelets, anklets, everything. So sweets were distributed, everybody clapped, the inauguration was successfully complete, and the owner fell at the feet of the master and said, please take one thing as a token. Please take one thing and bless me. Swamiji said, be careful, you're talking to a Vedanta person. No, Swamiji, I'm serious. Take at least one thing. First, Swamiji said, what will I do with gold? No, take one thing. Then he thought this could be a teaching moment. He says, be careful. Be careful what you ask for because you're talking to a Vedantin. Vedantin means the one who is in Vedanta. Okay, yeah. So, be careful. No, Swamiji, please. And after several entreaties, Swamiji said with a twinkle in his eye, okay, you keep all the ornaments. I'll take one thing, which is what? Gold. I'll take the gold. It is the shortest inauguration in history. He has to close down shop if it was seriously said. No more shop. This is what it is. The bangle has a complex. If it had a human mind, it would have a complex. I'm just out into the elements. It is cold, it is hot. And this lady is very careless. Each time she turns around, she bangs her hand against, and then I was so nice and chubby and full of lovely designs, and now I'm slim and tired and always anxious. I'll be just getting a big bang here and something like that. I'm just very, very upset. Maybe that's why they call me a bangle. I want to be the chain. Look, the chain sits at the heart of the person. This lady is always protecting the chain. And if she sees a suspicious person over there, this is in India, okay, where they have made chain snatching into an art, a terrible art. But anyhow, they'll come in a scooter and then just take it away, yank it out of your neck. And so whenever she sees suspicious looking people, what she thinks is suspicious, she goes like this. Oh God, make me into a chain. Next life. The chain has its own problems. The chain says, what is wrong with her? She's always wrapping herself up in panchakoshas, so many layers and layers and layers and layers of what is this? She's a hypochondriac. Somebody sneezes for 50 feet away and she wraps herself up in all kinds of scarves and mufflers and everything. And I need air. I'm stifled, I'm suffocated. I need freedom. Moksha. Moksha from being a chain. And look at that bangle of whom I am slightly jealous. When she shakes her hand to greet people, what do they see? Bangle. They don't even see me. I'm invisible. Nobody notices me. When she does namaste, what do they see? Bangle, not me. You can only imagine the prayer of the chain. Oh God, what? Make me into a bangle. That's why Bhagavan does not need cable TV, okay? Yeah. Yes, Vishnu and Lakshmi save on cable TV because every jiva is reality show. Yes, with all their complexes. Tathastu, okay, so be it. Have fun. Chain becomes bangle, bangle becomes chain. Are they happy? Yes, for 5 minutes. For five whole minutes, the chain says, free, fresh air. This is what I always wanted. Fresh air. Give me the fresh air. More, more, more. And the bangle too said, yes, finally, I'm near the heart. I'm close. I'm one with this person. Until the lady sneezed. And what did she do? Immediately wore 3 sweaters. And the bangle, which was used to an open life, freedom, suddenly felt like, is this what death is? Am I dead? And the chain, which was led a very protective existence, always pampered and protected in the heart, near the heart, it too was feeling what? Very stifled. Not stifled, very open to the elements, because now it's a bangle. It was not used to. The OCD which the woman had, always washing hands, always doing something. And both of them prayed again. What was their prayer? Please make me back into whatever I was. That is wisdom, really. This is how Shvetaketu is taught. Gently, lovingly, the point, the heart of the teaching being that in and through all this duality, that which is one and non-dual, non-dually one, ekamevam advitiyam, non-dually one is that which shines, is that which is true, is that which is me. Everybody can say that because there is only one I. The I in me is the I in you, is the I in he, she, it, everything. There's only one I which has as though, and the word as though is the phrase as though is extremely important here. The one I has morphed into many, as though morphed into many. It is still Sat. Sat, 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 everything. Everything is Sat. But for Sat to be Sat, it is not any one thing. What? Just look at it. All ornaments are gold. Gold is not any single ornaments. Everyone, everything is Brahman. But for Brahman to be limitlessly whole, Brahman cannot be any one thing. So, but what to do with duality? What to do with this duality, from which you told me I can't run away, which is surrounding me, which is the bane of my existence? If only all these people who annoy me would go away, all the bugging people, I would have a good life. This is my long held and strong held belief. What to do with all these annoying people? How to send them away? Very easy to send them away. What do? You see them as borrowed existence. Start with yourself. You see this body shining in borrowed existence. The body is inert. Body is inert. It shines in borrowed existence. Body is Brahman. Brahman is not the body. Brahman is much more than the body. I am this Brahman, which is much more than this body. I am this Brahman, likewise, which is much more than the mind, the senses, and every single assemblage therein. I am more than the Ahankara. All these things. We have a word for this duality. It is called Mithya. Mithya is this duality. The word Mithya, indeclinable word, it means that which categorically cannot be dismissed, like the annoying people in your life, and that which cannot be categorically affirmed either, because the people are not always annoying. Are the people annoying in sleep? No. They cease to be annoying when you are asleep, or even when they are asleep, they are not annoying. Yeah. So they're not always annoying. Yeah, unless they are snoring, then they are annoying. But then we are talking of a snoring less sleep. And so they're not hypothetically snoring less sleep. Otherwise, they'll have to put them on a CPAP machine, and then they will cease to be annoying again. So this is what it is. When they are asleep or when I'm asleep, nothing is annoying. Nobody is annoying. The most annoying person can come sit on my bed and I'm not annoyed. Look at that. That means what? Everything vyabhicharati, everything is changing. Mithya means that which cannot be categorically confirmed. Because something that is annoying should be annoying 24/7, 365, but that is not the case. Even my own self-judgment, if I find myself annoying, I don't find myself annoying when I'm asleep, when I'm happy. So therefore, the first definition of mithya is that which is cannot be affirmed as self-existent, cannot be dismissed. Just like the annoying person in my life cannot be affirmed as always annoying and cannot be dismissed because they're here, unfortunately, to stay. They're here. And so that is the first definition. The second definition is wherever there is mithya, there is sat. Mithya is never away from sat. Yatra yatra mithya, tatra tatra sat. So is sat mithya? No. Clay is not pot. Pot is clay. Because clay is manifest as lid, figurine, lamp, so many things, jug. This, if we understand, then we do not have to run away from duality. We do not have to run away at all from anything, at any time, at any place. One is at home with oneself. Oh, but what about all the things I find annoying in me? You didn't talk about that. Yes, I did talk about that. That too is mithya. I don't like how I look. Mithya. Subjectivity. I don't like how I walk. Mithya. I have no self-confidence. Mithya. It's a notion. And it's a wrong notion. It's a wrong notion because it is contrary to the Upanishad. And if I say, so what, let the Upanishad talk whatever it wants, then I have to be prepared to live with these wrong notions, which I am not. So better to surrender to the vision of no division of the Upanishads. So first we sift. So first we sift through the duality and stay away from the duality a little bit, especially the attractive forms of things in the world, we stay away from. Why? Because I'm interested in discovering the I that is not dependent upon these things. But that's only half the teaching. The other half is when one is let loose into the world after a stay in the ashram. That is the test. What happens then? Then I have to deal with the duality. Deal with the duality means what? Oneness in spite of duality. This is the vision. Duality is Ishvara Srishti, Ishvara's creation. You can't knock it out, you can't take it out. Ishvara's creation means Ishvara's manifestation. Ishvara's manifestation means Ishvara. So the way to deal with this duality, mithya, is to see it as Bhagavan. I Ishvaraize the whole universe of names and forms. Every day I Ishvaraize. When in doubt, Ishvaraize. Starting with the annoying person, Ishvaraize. When anything I find annoying in me, Ishvaraize. How to do that? Well, if you say, I am sad, I'm lonely, I'm anxious, these emotions are there. These emotions are there, and then what do you do with them? If I say, this is my sadness, it's wrong. I'm clinging on to this emotion. I have made it mine. But to see it as Ishvara requires one more step. I see it as a law, as Ishvara's law, which is non-separate from the goddess, from the Lord. And what is this law? Given this background, this kind of sadness will be there. Given this anxiety, this kind of sadness or anxiety, given this background, this kind of anxiety will be there. Then it becomes a branch of knowledge. What is that called? Psychology. Ah, it no longer becomes my anxiety, my sadness, my fear, my problem. It is everywhere. Sadness is a law that comes given certain situations. It's no longer mine. I revere this manifestation as Ishvara. And when I start to see these patterns, then it is very easy to come out of them. Part of the problem is the problem itself, but the main part of the problem is personalizing this and taking on what is not mine to be mine. Give Ishvara the portfolio. Just say, take away this sadness. That's why it's very important to have an altar of worship. And it's important to supplicate at the altar. That's why it's called the altar of surrender, because it has the power to alter you, to see the oneness despite duality. Duality is mithya, duality is so-called duality, because what shines in and through everything, everybody, is Brahman, free of strife, free of conflict, free of fear. Thank you. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
We stand for the Arati on page 84 of the short version. So we'll be back here at 6 in the morning. We don't have a bell, but set your alarm for 5:30 or 5:45. And we'll be back here at 6. You can straighten your mats and cushions on the way out. Have a good night.
Thank you.